President Joe Biden moments ago greeting the Polish president in Warsaw. They're meeting right now behind closed doors, but we expect to hear from them shortly. And in a few hours, President Biden will deliver a speech marking 1 year of war in Ukraine. That comes after Vladimir Putin's State of the Nation address earlier this morning, where the Russian president continued to push lies about the invasion and announced he is suspending a nuclear arms treaty with the United States. Welcome back to Morning Joe. It is Tuesday, February 21st, 8 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast. Jonathan Lemire, Gene Robinson, Jen Psaki, David Ignatius, all still with Joe and me. And joining the table in Washington, columnist for the Daily Beast, David Rothkopf. We will get to his new column about President Biden's trip to Kyiv in just a moment. But first, we want to go straight to Warsaw. That's where we find NBC News foreign correspondent Josh Lederman. Josh, what are we seeing so far today?
Well, Willie, it is dueling visions from President Biden and President Putin of Russia in this split-screen day here in Eastern Europe as President Putin gives that major speech, the equivalent of the State of the Union in Russia, where he once again falsely blamed the West for starting this war, really doubling down on Russia's efforts in Ukraine, saying they are not going to let up, and that he insisted that Russia will still be able to achieve all of its objectives in Ukraine. Meanwhile, President Biden expected to use his speech shortly later this afternoon here in Warsaw to try to make the case that not only has the West succeeded in building an alliance that has preserved Ukraine despite a year of intense warfare, but that this alliance is now poised to stick with Ukraine until the very end, and talking about the importance of the West taking on this fight now so that autocrats are not emboldened to think that they can invade their neighbors and threaten the global security architecture. And as President Biden is meeting with President Duda of Poland as we speak, we're hearing from President Putin with this really alarming announcement that Russia is suspending its participation in the New START treaty, the last remaining nuclear arms agreement between the U.S. and Russia, which Moscow had already been not living up to its commitments in that agreement, according to U.S. officials, starting during the COVID-19 pandemic, and then citing the war in Ukraine as an excuse to justify denying the inspections that it's supposed to allow under that treaty. But today, Putin saying that given the level of tensions and what he says is the U.S. not living up to its commitments, Russia will put that agreement on hold. That, of course, is just further raising tensions in the region and increasing the fears of some type of an escalation, as the NATO Secretary General says that he regrets the move, that it has dismantled the entire nuclear security architecture. And we just heard from Secretary of State Antony Blinken as he is traveling in Greece, responding to that decision from Russia. Take a listen.
The announcement by Russia that it's suspending participation in the START is deeply unfortunate and irresponsible. We'll be watching carefully to see what Russia actually does. We'll, of course, make sure that in any event we are postured appropriately for the security of our own country and that of our allies.
A few minutes ago, we saw President Biden standing shoulder to shoulder with Polish President Duda, listening to the U.S. national anthem, the Polish national anthem, as they entered the presidential palace for their bilateral meeting. The president will then emerge from that to prepare for his major speech here in Warsaw at the same location, at the Royal Gardens, where he gave a speech almost a year ago, setting the table for the type of unity and solidarity with Ukraine that he said was critical to be able to make sure that country was able to survive. Today, White House officials say that President Biden will build on that message, will argue the West has succeeded so far and needs to continue that intense pressure and that intense support for Ukraine to ensure that those basic principles and Western values are able to be upheld, despite the fact that this war is continuing into its second year with no signs of letting up, and President Putin once again vowing to continue that war inside Ukraine today, Willie.
NBC's Josh Lederman in Warsaw, Poland, on a day for history. Josh, thanks so much. So, Joe.